Have you ever caught a glimpse of someone in a crowd, a face so familiar it steals your breath, only to realize they're a stranger? What if that stranger was you, a shadow of a self you can't remember, whispering secrets you're not ready to hear? Kowloon Generic Romance Episode 10, titled Through the Looking Glass, aired on June 7, 2025, and it's a haunting mirror held up to your soul. Picture this, a neon-drenched alley in Kowloon walled city, the air thick with cigarette smoke and unspoken regrets, where every step echoes like a heartbeat. Can you feel it? That ache of chasing a truth you're not sure you want to find? This episode doesn't just pull you in, it dares you to look at your own reflection and ask, who are you? Really, like a Polaroid developing in reverse, the mystery of Kowloon 3.0 sharpens into focus, but the edges blur with questions. Have you ever stood at the edge of a memory, unsure if it's yours or someone else's? This is where episode 10 begins, on the precipice of identity, where love and loss collide like waves against a crumbling shore. For fans of sci-fi mysteries and slow-burn romances, this is your Blade Runner, your eternal sunshine, reimagined in a retro-futuristic haze. Will you step into the labyrinth or stay safely outside? Wondering, Kowloon Walled City, a retro-futuristic slum pulsing with nostalgia, is more than a setting. It's a character, alive with secrets etched into its crumbling walls. Released on June 7, 2025, Episode 10 drops you into this maze where Reiko Kujirai, voiced with aching vulnerability by Haruka Shiraishi, grapples with her identity as a generic, a facsimile of a woman she can never be. Her sharp bob and wide eyes, designed with Jun Mayuzuki's meticulous care, reflect a woman caught between longing and dread. Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Reiko does, every day, as she pines for Hajime Kudo, the brash realtor, Tomokazu Sugita's gravelly charm, who holds her heart but sees another in her face. Then there's Xiaohei, both child and adult, a dual existence that shatters the rules of Kowloon 3.0. The young Xiaohei, with her frilly dresses and boundless energy, Aoi Koga's playful lilt, dances through the city's chaos, while the adult Xiaohei, a spy with a shadowed gaze, wrestles with a past he can't escape. Their meeting is like catching your childhood self staring back at you in a cracked mirror, familiar, yet impossibly distant. Yaomei, petite and fierce, rounds out this tapestry, her unraveling memories a thread pulling you deeper into the city's enigma. Can you imagine standing face to face with a version of yourself you left behind? These characters don't just inhabit Kowloon, they haunt it, and you'll haunt it with them. What does it mean to be you? Episode 10 doesn't just ask, it carves the question into your chest. Reiko's love for Kudo is a fragile thread, stretched taut by the ghost of Kujirai B, his deceased fiancé. Every glance she steals, every hesitant touch, is a gamble against a truth that could unravel her existence. Have you ever loved someone who saw someone else in your eyes? Xiaohei's struggle is even more visceral, a man forced to confront a younger, freer self, a girl who embodies the life he abandoned. It's not just gender dysphoria, it's the universal ache of wondering if you've betrayed your own dreams. The philosophical undercurrent is relentless. Are we our memories, or something more? Kowloon 3.0, a city rebuilt from Kudo's nostalgia, feels like a metaphor for how we cling to the past, even when it traps us. Like Theseus in the labyrinth, each character searches for a way out, only to find the monster might be themselves. This episode doesn't offer easy answers. It leaves you wrestling with the same questions, as if you're walking Kowloon's alleys, talismans with error codes fluttering in the breeze. What would you do if you found a message warning you to stop searching for the truth? Arvo Animation's work in episode 10 is a love letter to retro aesthetics, with a palette of muted golds and neons that feels like a fever dream of 1980s Hong Kong. The camera lingers on Reiko's trembling hands as she holds Kujirai B's glasses, the lenses glinting like portals to a forbidden past. Shadows pool in the corners of every frame, as if the city itself is hiding something. Have you ever watched a sunset bleed into twilight, knowing the darkness holds answers? That's the sensation of every scene, from the claustrophobic alleys to the surreal stillness of Xiaohei's confrontation with his younger self. The animation isn't flashy, it's intimate. Close-ups on eyes, quivering lips, and cigarette embers convey more than words ever could. The talismans, with their cryptic error codes, are rendered with a tactile realism that makes you want to reach out and peel one off the wall. It's not just beautiful, it's a beauty that hurts, like staring too long at a flame. The retro design, evoking classics like Akira or Ghost in the Shell, wraps you in nostalgia while whispering that something's terribly wrong. Can you resist the urge to look closer? The pacing of Kowloon Generic Romance is too slow, some say, dragging its mysteries like a chain across the floor. Critics claim episode 10 stalls, recycling familiar beats, its animation faltering under the weight of ambition. They argue the plot inches forward, leaving viewers frustrated, the characters' depth buried under endless exposition. Yet, episode 10's deliberate pace is its genius, weaving a tapestry of dread and longing that demands patience. The animation, subtle and evocative, captures the city's soul in every flickering neon sign. The characters' depth shines in their silences, their choices echoing our own. Critics call it repetitive, but isn't life itself a cycle of searching for meaning? The slow burn isn't a flaw, it's the fire that keeps you warm. The soundtrack, composed by Ryohei Sataka, is a phantom threading through episode 10's veins. A melancholic synth hums beneath Reiko's quiet moments, like the city breathing. When Xiaohei faces his younger self, a delicate piano refrain, reminiscent of Your Lie in April's heart-wrenching OST, cuts through the silence, each note a shard of regret. Have you ever heard a song that felt like it was written for a moment you haven't lived yet? The ambient sounds, distant traffic, the clink of glasses in a tea house, immerse you in Kowloon's pulse, as if you're standing in its alleys. The standout is a haunting vocal track during a pivotal scene, its lyrics unintelligible yet piercing, like a memory you can't grasp. It's not just music, it's the sound of a heart breaking in slow motion. The auditory atmosphere wraps around you like fog, urging you to listen closer, to feel the weight of every unspoken word. Can you hear the city calling you? Without spoiling, let's say episode 10 builds to a moment where mirrors shatter, not literally, but in the soul. A revelation about Xiaohei's existence flips the rules of Kowloon 3.0 upside down, like discovering the map you've been following is upside down. It's not a loud explosion but a quiet gasp, the kind that leaves you staring at the screen, heart racing. Have you ever had a moment where everything you thought you knew shifted, and you couldn't unsee it? The tension peaks as Reiko holds a talisman, its error code glowing like a warning, and you realize, the city isn't just a place, it's a cage, and someone's watching. The thematic echo lingers. What happens when you see too much? The episode doesn't answer. It tightens the noose and leaves you dangling, desperate for the next chapter. Reiko, Xiaohei, and Yaomei are not just characters. They're fragments of a mosaic, each piece reflecting the central theme of identity. Reiko's yearning for Kudo is a quiet symphony, her every gesture a note in a love song she's not sure she's allowed to sing. Xiaohei, split between past and present, is a living paradox, his duality a dance between freedom and regret. Yaomei, with her unraveling memories, is the audience's anchor, her confusion mirroring ours. Together, they orbit the mystery of Kowloon 3.0, their choices weaving a tapestry that's as untouchable as a dream. Have you ever admired a painting so much you wanted to step inside it, only to realize it's a portrait of your own fears? This is their story, a work of art you'll never fully grasp, but can't stop chasing. Have you ever held a photograph so old it crumbles at your touch, yet it holds a moment you'd give anything to relive? What if that moment wasn't yours, but you felt its weight all the same? Kowloon Generic Romance Episode 11, titled Echoes of a Lost Name, aired on June 14, 2025, and it's a whisper from a past you can't quite place, pulling you into Kowloon's neon-lit embrace. Imagine standing in a rain-soaked alley, the hum of a distant radio blending with the patter of drops, each one a memory you're not sure you own. Can you hear it? That quiet ache of a life half-remembered, calling you to chase it? For fans of retrofuturistic mysteries and heart-wrenching romances, this is your Nausicaa. You're lost in translation, reborn in a city that never sleeps. Will you follow the echo, or let it fade into the night, like a vinyl record spinning backward? Episode 11 unravels time itself, each scratch and hiss a clue to a truth you're not ready for. Have you ever felt a longing so deep it feels like someone else's? This is where the story begins, on the edge of memory, where love and loss blur like ink in the rain. Step into Kowloon Generic Romance, where every corner holds a ghost, and every ghost knows your name. Kowloon Walled City, a labyrinth of flickering signs and forgotten dreams, is a time capsule of 1980s Hong Kong, reimagined as a retrofuturistic enigma. Episode 11 immerses you in this world where Reiko Kajirai, voiced with raw fragility by Haruka Shiraishi, teeters on the brink of unraveling her own existence. Her sleek bob and trembling hands, crafted with Jun Mayuzuki's delicate precision, make her a living portrait of yearning. Have you ever looked in a mirror and wondered if the reflection was lying? Reiko does, as she navigates her love for Hajime Kudo, the gruff realtor, Tomokazu Sugita's voice a perfect blend of warmth and grit, who carries a wound named Kajirai B. Xiaohei, split between a child's innocence and an adult's regret, is a paradox in motion. Young Xiaohei's frilly dresses and bright laughter, Aoi Koga's vibrant delivery, clash with the adult Xiaohei's shadowed eyes, a spy haunted by a past he can't outrun. Their duality is like meeting your younger self in a dream, only to realize they're judging you. Yaomei, fierce yet fragile, weaves through the city's chaos, her unraveling memories a thread you can't help but follow. Can you imagine standing in a room full of strangers, only to realize they're all versions of you? These characters don't just live in Kowloon. They're its heartbeat, and you'll feel it pulse. What makes you you when your memories might belong to someone else? Episode 11 doesn't just pose this question, it carves it into the walls of Kowloon Generic Romance. Reiko's love for Kudo is a tightrope walk over an abyss, each step shadowed by Kujira B's ghost. Every smile she offers him is a prayer, every hesitation a fear that she's loving him with someone else's heart. Have you ever loved so fiercely you wondered if it was yours to give? Xiaohei's journey is even more wrenching. A man confronting a child who embodies the freedom he lost. They're meeting a mirror reflecting every choice he regrets. The philosophical core is unrelenting. Are we defined by what we remember or what we choose to forget? Kowloon Generic Romance, a city built on nostalgia, feels like a diary you're afraid to open. Each page a reminder of a life you might have lived wrong. Like Orpheus glancing back at Eurydice, the characters risk everything to look at their pasts, knowing it might destroy them. This episode doesn't hand you answers. It leaves you standing in the rain, clutching a talisman that might not be yours, asking, what would you sacrifice to know who you are? Arvo Animation's craft in episode 11 is a love letter to retro aesthetics, blending smoky neons with the soft glow of fading memories. The camera lingers on Reiko's face as rain streaks her cheeks, each drop catching the light like a tear she won't shed. Shadows twist in Kowloon's alleys, as if the city itself is watching, waiting. Have you ever seen a city at dusk, its lights flickering like secrets? That's the mood of every frame, from the cramped tea houses to the surreal stillness of Xiaohei's confrontation with his younger self. The animation is intimate, not extravagant. Close-ups on quivering lips or a hand brushing a talisman's edge speak louder than any explosion. The talismans, with their cryptic error codes, shimmer with a tactile quality that begs you to reach out. It's a beauty that stings, like a memory you can't hold on to. Evoking the gritty elegance of Cowboy Bebop or Blade Runner 2049, the visuals wrap you in a nostalgic haze while whispering of danger. Can you resist the pull of a city that knows your secrets? Some call Kowloon Generic Romance too dense, its mysteries piling up like unopened letters. Critics argue episode 11 lingers too long on introspection, its pacing a slog, the animation restrained to a fault. They claim the plot twists are predictable, the character struggles overwrought. Yet, episode 11's density is its strength, each layer a brushstroke in a masterpiece of longing. The pacing is a deliberate dance, letting you feel every heartbeat of doubt. The animation, subtle and evocative, captures Kowloon's soul in every raindrop. The characters' struggles are raw, their choices a mirror to our own. Critics call it predictable, but isn't life itself a pattern we only see in hindsight? The slow burn isn't a flaw, it's the spark that ignites your curiosity. Ryohei Sataka's soundtrack is the pulse of episode 11, a retro synth hum that feels like Kowloon breathing. When Reiko stands alone in the rain, a soft piano melody, echoing Clannad's tender grief, wraps around her, each note a drop of unspoken love. Have you ever heard music that felt like it was morning for you? The ambient sounds, rain on tin roofs, the clatter of a tea house, a distant siren, pull you into the city's heart, as if you're walking its streets. A standout is a haunting vocal track during a pivotal scene, its melody a fragile thread tying past to present, like a lullaby you forgot the words to. It's not just sound, it's the ache of a memory you can't reclaim. The auditory atmosphere is a fog that envelopes you, urging you to listen closer, to feel the weight of every silence. Can you hear the city whispering your name? Without spoiling, episode 11 builds to a moment where the ground beneath Kowloon shifts, not with a quake, but with a truth that rewrites everything. A revelation about Reiko's connection to Kujira B is like finding a letter you wrote to yourself, in someone else's handwriting. It's a quiet shock, the kind that leaves you frozen, heart pounding. Have you ever uncovered a secret that made you question your own story? The tension peaks as Xiaohei holds a talisman, its glow casting shadows that feel alive, and you realize, the city isn't just a place, it's a puzzle, and someone's holding the final piece. The thematic echo lingers. What happens when the past you chase isn't yours? The episode doesn't resolve, it tightens the knot and leaves you yearning, desperate for answers. Reiko, Xiaohei, and Yaomei are threads in a tapestry, each woven around the theme of memory. Reiko's love for Kudo is a melody played on fraying strings, her every glance a note in a song she fears she's stolen. Xiaohei, split between child and adult, is a fractured mirror, his dual selves a dance of loss and redemption. Yaomei, with her crumbling memories, is the viewer's guide, her confusion a reflection of our own. Together, they form a symphony around Kowloon Generic Romance's enigma, their choices a work of art you long to touch but can never fully hold. Have you ever seen a sculpture so beautiful you wanted to break it just to understand its pain? This is their story, a masterpiece of longing, forever out of reach. Have you ever stood at the edge of a choice, knowing that one step step could rewrite your entire life? What if that choice wasn't yours to make, but it defined you anyway? Kowloon Generic Romance Episode 12, titled The Weight of a Name, aired on June 21, 2025, and it's a siren's call pulling you into the neon heart of Kowloon walled city. Picture this. A flickering street lamp casts jagged shadows on cracked pavement, the air heavy with the scent of rain and regret, each sound a pulse of a city that knows your secrets. Can you feel it? That trembling moment when you realize the life you've lived might belong to someone else? For fans of retrofuturistic dramas and soul-stirring romances, this is your Neon Genesis Evangelion, your Before Sunrise, reimagined in a labyrinth of memory and longing. Will you dare to step forward or linger in the shadows, wondering, like a cassette tape wound too tight? Episode 12 unspools a story that crackles with tension, each moment a spark that could ignite or fade. Have you ever felt a truth so close it burns, yet so distant you can't grasp it? This is where the story begins, on the knife's edge of fate, where love and identity collide like stars in a collapsing sky. Step into Kowloon Generic Romance, where every door hides a truth, and every truth wears your face. Kowloon Walled City, a retrofuturistic maze of neon and nostalgia, is a living relic of 1980s Hong Kong, pulsing with secrets that cling to its walls like ivy. Episode 12 plunges you into this world where Reiko Kujirai, voiced with heartbreaking clarity by Haruka Shiraishi, stands at the crossroads of her identity. Her sharp bob and fragile smile, drawn with Jun Mayuzuki's tender precision, make her a canvas of love and doubt. Have you ever carried a name that felt like a lie? Reiko does, her every breath a question as she reaches for Hajime Kudo, the realtor whose gruff warmth, Tomokazu Sugita's voice a low, resonant anchor, hides a heart scarred by Kujirai B's ghost. Xiaohei, a soul split between youth and regret, is a walking contradiction. Young Xiaohei's bright eyes and frilly dresses, Aoi Koga's voice bubbling with life, dance through Kowloon's chaos, while adult Xiaohei's shadowed gaze betrays a spy who's lost his way. Their meeting is like finding an old photo of yourself, only to see a stranger staring back. Yaomei, fierce and unraveling, threads through the city's mysteries, her fragmented memories a map you're desperate to follow. Can you imagine facing a version of yourself that knows your every mistake? These characters don't just inhabit Kowloon, they're its soul, and you'll feel it stir. What does it mean to choose when your choices might not be your own? Episode 12 doesn't just ask, it presses the question against your heart like a blade. Reiko's love for Kudo is a flame flickering in a storm, each moment with him a defiance of the ghost that haunts her. Every touch, every whispered word, is a rebellion against a truth that could erase her. Have you ever fought for a love that might not belong to you? Xiaohei's struggle is a mirror held too close, his dual selves clashing in a dance of guilt and redemption, each step a question of who he's meant to be. The philosophical weight is crushing. Are we free if our past is a script written by someone else? Kowloon Generic Romance, a city forged from nostalgia, feels like a prison of memory, each alley a reminder of choices you can't undo. Like Icarus flying too close to the sun, the characters reach for freedom, knowing the fall might break them. This episode doesn't offer solace. It leaves you clutching a talisman, its error code glowing like a warning, asking, what would you choose if you knew it might destroy you? Arvo Animation's work in episode 12 is a hymn to retro aesthetics, weaving neon pinks and golds into a tapestry of longing. The camera lingers on Reiko's trembling fingers as she traces a talisman's edge, its glow casting her face in a halo of doubt. Shadows creep across Kowloon's alleys, as if the city itself is closing in. Have you ever watched a storm gather, knowing it's about to break? That's the pulse of every frame, from the cluttered tea houses to the eerie stillness of Xiaohei's confrontation with his past. The animation is raw, not ostentatious. Close-ups on eyes brimming with unshed tears or a cigarette's ember glowing in the dark say more than dialogue ever could. The talismans, with their cryptic codes, shimmer like relics you want to steal. It's a beauty that cuts, like a memory too sharp to hold. Evoking perfect blue or ghost in the shell, the visuals drape you in nostalgia while whispering of betrayal. Can you resist a city that sees through you? Some say Kowloon Generic Romance is too opaque, its mysteries a tangle of threads that refuse to unravel. Critics argue episode 12 drags, its focus on emotion smothering the plot, the animation too subtle for its own good. They claim the climax feels rushed, the characters' arcs lost in ambiguity. Yet, episode 12's opacity is its brilliance, each mystery a brushstroke in a portrait of the soul. The pacing is a slow waltz, letting you linger in every pang of doubt. The animation, restrained yet vivid, paints Kowloon's heart in every flickering light. The characters' arcs are raw, their ambiguity a mirror to our own uncertainties. Critics call it rushed, but isn't life itself a race to understand before it's too late? The slow burn isn't a flaw, it's the fire that consumes you. Ryohei Sataka's soundtrack soundtrack is episode 12's Heartbeat, a retro synth pulse that hums like Kowloon's restless soul. When Reiko faces her truth, a mournful violin, reminiscent of Violet Evergarden's aching strings, wraps around her, each note a shard of her breaking heart. Have you ever heard a melody that felt like it was grieving for you? The ambient sounds, rain hissing on neon signs, the clink of a teacup, a distant shout, pull you into the city's veins, as if you're walking its streets. A standout is a wordless choral track during a pivotal scene, its voices weaving a tapestry of loss and hope, like a hymn from a forgotten dream. It's not just music, it's the sound of a soul unraveling. The auditory atmosphere is a shroud, urging you to listen closer, to feel the weight of every pause. Can you hear the city holding its breath? Without spoiling, episode 12 builds to a moment where Kowloon's truths crack open, not with a scream, but with a silence that deafens. A revelation about the city's purpose is like finding a key to a lock you didn't know existed, its click echoing in your bones. It's a quiet cataclysm, the kind that leaves you staring, breathless. Have you ever faced a truth that changed the way you see yourself? The tension peaks as Reiko clutches a talisman, its glow pulsing like a heartbeat, and you realize, the city isn't just a place, it's a verdict, and someone's already decided your fate. The thematic echo lingers. What happens when you choose to know? The episode doesn't answer. It drops you into the void, craving the next piece of the puzzle. Reiko, Xiaohei, and Yaomei are notes in a requiem, each resonating with the theme of choice. Reiko's love for Kudo is a fragile chord, her every gesture a defiance of a past she can't claim. Xiaohei, torn between child and spy, is a fractured melody, his dual selves a harmony of regret and hope. Yaomei, with her fading memories, is the audience's echo, her questions ours. Together, they weave a symphony around Kowloon Generic Romance's heart, their choices a work of art you ache to touch but can never hold. Have you ever seen a painting so vivid you wanted to step inside, only to find it's a portrait of your own regrets? This is their story, a masterpiece of choices, forever elusive.